Here are the top posts from relationships on the 25th of October 2019.
Yusaka Momo. I, 27F, need help managing my constantly upset in-laws, M plus F 55.
RO 489. So, where's your fiancé with this? He needs to deal with his family. And you. That's his job. Stop engaging. As long as the decisions are mutual, he should support it. TBDIV. How can we make them understand that we aren't out to get them? Question mark. You can't. You cannot make someone else think or feel anything. Their feelings are theirs. I don't want to ruin our relationship. I want to build it with them. But it's so hard when everything we do I always end up coming off as the bad guy. Not liking the tie I made the week of agenda. I gave the bridesmaids buttons, etc. Take a step back here. Consider that it may not be possible to have the sort of normal, healthy relationship you want with him because they are unwilling or incapable of a healthy normal relationship. Yes, they want the drama and the strife and the feeling injured. Consider that. This whole coming off as the bad guy. Why? For asserting your wants and needs? Fuck that. This is your wedding. Certainly thank them for their suggestions and then assert that you will decide what you want. Something along the lines of that sounds neat, interesting, pretty, whatever, and I can understand why you like that idea. We want less than what you want. That isn't what they suggested, and we'll be going with that because it fits our wedding theme.
Sunshine Daydream 774. Look, they're going to be unhappy no matter what. Plan the wedding you guys want. This isn't about the monsieur. Your FH needs to be shutting this shit down. His failure to do so will ruin your memories of your wedding. Imagine when you have kids, arguing over names, who's holding a leg while you push, arguing parenting decisions, arguing about not getting enough babysitting time, etc. Start as you mean to continue. Set boundaries and stop letting their feelings dictate how you guys live your lives. They are holding you emotionally hostage. This is not normal, and if you continue to bend for them it will only get worse. Setting boundaries is the kind and healthy thing to do. It's what will actually be best for maintaining a positive relationship. If you don't, you'll start to resent him, and eventually resent your husband. This can and will drive a wedge in your marriage if you guys let it.
Blue Side Rug. Should I, 38F, be offended when my guy friends ditch me once they get a girlfriend? Walkitbik. Most people have less time for their friends when they get into a new relationship. They usually come back once they're settled in the relationship. We all only have so much free time, especially as we get older. And to start with, new relationships get a lot of it. I have a great guy friend who needed me as an emotional crutch much more when he didn't have a good girlfriend than when he did. So I get your feelings. I just decided to take it that I was glad he was in a good relationship when it stopped. We're still friends, it's just different. The other thing is that some straight people are jealous about their partner having friends of the opposite sex. Especially if it's not something they have in their own life or they've had a bad experience with a cheating partner in the past, so their new girlfriends may be wary of them spending time with you, texting you a lot. Have you reached out to your friends to actually organize a specific time to hang out? Are you interested in meeting their girlfriends? I think one of the easiest ways to show everyone that your friendship with a guy isn't a threat is make an effort with your friend's new girlfriend in some kind of group setting. Is that an option?
Code weirdness. I think once a week is a pretty close friendship and people have limited time, so when a relationship begins, they want to give a good chunk of that time to their new significant other. That means friends will sometimes get the short end of the stick. and weekly hangouts become monthly until the honeymoon phase is over and people settle into their relationship properly. I think just keep reaching out, and if you find somebody is slow to respond or can't make the time for you, reach out again in a few weeks. If the pattern continues indefinitely, then you can consider the friendship on hiatus until they reach out to you instead. Or potentially over altogether. Sad, but such is life. I think it's important you keep contact but also allow them space.
Tarkanus. Every so often one of them does reach out to me. But inevitably, I find out that it is because he got into a fight with his girlfriend. I agree with what others have said about people just not having unlimited free time and relationships taking up that time until they're more settled. But the friend you quoted is only talking to you to complain about his GF? Yeah, that's an issue. Now you're just an emotional sponge for him instead of a reciprocal friend. I'd have a much larger issue with this guy over the guy who is probably just still busy with the new GF.
FC King Heavy Metal. I, 17F, have sudden extreme feelings of hate towards my friends, 17F.
The reckless zone. Given that it happens for a week, once a month, this sounds hormonal, and yes, I also experience this. For me, I have a week where certain people that I usually get along with suddenly become the worst people in the world to me, and I feel extremely irritated, angered by everything they do, from the way they talk, the way they move, the way they laugh, etc. For me, it's a couple of people that I work with, and my job doesn't require interaction. So in the hormonal week I just wear my headphones and don't speak to people. It also helps to get extra sleep during this time, as the hormones can make you more tired, and therefore more irritable, because you're still in school. Assuming from your age, it might be a little harder for you to avoid this person for an entire week. So I'd try and remember to acknowledge that it's your hormones speaking. Take deep breaths and remember it isn't their fault, and excuse yourself from conversation if it gets too much. You could also mention it to a doctor if you feel it's having too much of a negative impact on your life. If you're unsure whether this is the case, try tracking your period and the weeks you hate your friend. For me, I have this irrationally angry week, then about 3 days where I'm fine, then I get my period. Hungry Fox 420. Hey, I used to get something similar to this and then I went on the pill and I'm so much happier now. Not saying necessarily to go on BC, but go talk to the doctor and see if they have any suggestions to handle this. It definitely sounds like PMS or PMDD. Never got a diagnosis for PMDD, but I used to get it for up to 2 weeks and I'd be really depressed and irritable towards those I loved during that time. I suspect I probably had it.
OIC name not available. Do you keep track of your cycles? You need to talk to a doctor about possible PMDD. You can feel better and get the rage monkey under control. You do need medical help, possibly to help balance your hormones. And maybe talk to a counselor for strategies to help you develop coping strategies, deep breathing, etc. For the bad moments. You don't have to live that way. Please start the process of getting help for it.
Woshik. I, 28M, hate it when my wife, 27F, leans on me. Rainy reminder. I mean, you have to tell her. It's been 6 years of her leaning on you and you not saying anything. How did you expect her to realize that her habit is annoying if you didn't say anything to her about it? Pumpkin. How are you married and you can't just tell her, "Hond, I love you, but can you stop leaning on me all the time? It's kinda tiring." Skitten. You should make sure to figure out if your issue is being leaned on or constant touch. If the latter, this may be a big incompatibility in your relationship. If touch is an important part of how she expresses and feels love, and you want to be touched less, then this is equivalent to mismatched libidos or other big relationship problems still. The sooner you address it the better, as it'll only get worse while you ignore it.
Kolar BR12. My 23F brother, 27 meters, is lying about who his girlfriend has been for 6 years. D. Trastavere. I think you should ask your brother.
Just a cryptographer. Unless you suspect something sinister, I would just let it be. Whatever reasons he has are his. I understand that you may be concerned, but just butt out for now.
Bert Eland. Maybe he cheated a long time ago. Amy left him and cancelled from his life, and your brother did not want to expose himself to your parents, so went along with this. Maybe Amy was very well liked to your parents, but this new lady is not their type and he doesn't want to deal with all meet my parents. Parents disappointed, etc. He is just weird, asks to him or maybe investigate with people close to his life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.